I am just like any other modern day woman. I love cooking healthy and nutritious meals for my family, and they lap them up with gratitude and affection. And like any other family, they love treats. Obviously, the sugarier the better. So today's recipe is a truly sugar-tastic sensation. Sugar-tastic sensation. You try saying that when you're drunk. I'm not drunk. It's just a tongue twister. Tongue twister. Anyway, it's from a 1591 work and it is for white gingerbread. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to The Past is a Foreign Pantry with me, Ellie. So today we're looking at a 1591 recipe from a book of cookery and it is for white gingerbread. Now I was inspired to make it after reading Sam Bilton's amazing book, First Catch Your Gingerbread, which I love. It's got fantastic history in it, but it's also got tons of wicked recipes. So if you haven't already got a copy, definitely recommend picking this up. And it has been a real inspiration for my experiment today. Now, the history of gingerbread is really complex and pretty obscure, especially when we look at gingerbread in Britain. By medieval times, there were plenty of recipes for gingerbread, and some of them don't even contain ginger, which is really weird. The form of curry, which was compiled in about 1390 by Richard II's master cooks, has a recipe for gingerbread, which I have had a go at, but it doesn't contain any ginger at all, as far as I can see. And it's pretty decent, actually. It's more like a treacle tart. But there were other gingerbread recipes that contain ginger. And gingerbread seems to have been served at medieval banquets as part of the void, which was the period of time when the dishes would be cleared from the table and the guests would have a little bit of a break from eating. And certainly by the 15th and 16th century, gingerbread was served in small portions as a breath freshener, which, to be honest, I can kind of see. I'd rather have a piece of gingerbread than some half-melted, cheapo dark chocolate after dinner mint. If you are watching this after 8s, I don't mean you. I love you. Send me lots of boxes. And by the Tudor times, and actually before that, there were two main kinds of gingerbread. Red gingerbread, which often contained sandalwood, that's why it's got its name, it was a really deep colour, and white gingerbread, which was more akin to marzipan, marchpane. Now I've made both marzipan and the red gingerbread, but I haven't had a go at the white gingerbread, which was obviously this sugar paste, if you like. So the white gingerbread that I'm making today is from the 1591 work, A Book of Cookery, and any extra details and more history about it can be found at my blog, The Past is a Foreign Pantry. Enjoy! To make white gingerbread, you will need 25 grams, that's 1/8 of a cup of blanched almonds, fresh ginger, ground ginger, a teaspoon of gum tragacanth, a teaspoon of rosewater, and 100 grams, which is about half a cup of icing sugar. You will also need a small mould to shape your gingerbread. Put the gum tragacanth into a small bowl and add the rosewater to it. Leave it to sit for about 24 hours. After 24 hours, it should have absorbed the rosewater and look a bit like breadcrumbs. Sieve the icing sugar into a bowl. Add the gum tragacanth to your sifted icing sugar. Add 50 ml of water, that's about 1.6 fluid ounces, and mix. Keep stirring and eventually kneading until your paste becomes really thick and malleable and resembles the kind of paste that you would put on a Christmas cake. Work it like a bread dough and you'll find that it becomes a lot more pliable and easy to work with. It sounds disgusting, and it is a little bit, but the heat from your hands will eventually help melt everything and make it stick together into a really firm ball. Grind your almonds in a pestle and mortar until they are fine powder. Cut a lump of ginger about the size of your thumb and peel it with a spoon. Ideally you'd be using a teaspoon, but my husband and I are locked in a never-ending battle of who's going to do the dishes, so I was using whatever I had to hand. Pulverise the ginger in your pestle and mortar. Add your pulverised ginger and combine. You'll find that eventually everything should begin to stick together. If you want to, you can use your hands to combine the mixture. It feels really odd to us, but our ancestors didn't have quantities and measurements in their recipes, so feeling the mixture was the only way they could tell whether or not it was done for sure. Divide your sugar paste in half and roll it out into 2 discs. Squidge your almond and ginger filling onto one of the discs and then place the other disc on top and seal shut. Sprinkle ground ginger into your mould and then gently place, and if that doesn't work, absolutely force, your gingerbread mixture into your mould. Set your gingerbread aside for about 24 hours to dry out completely before turning it out and serving. Okay, so here it is. Now, a couple of things that I need to tell you. Obviously, when they were making their gingerbread, it went into moulds. And these moulds were often beautiful. They were very, very ornate, really intricate, often quite huge. They were also made of wood, which I don't have. I don't have a gingerbread massive wooden mould. So I've had to make do with what I have in my house, which is a silicone dinosaur. So this is, I think, a Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus gingerbread. And the second thing that you'll notice is that I have decorated it with edible gold paint, and that's because these gingerbreads, they were often covered in candied fruits, edible gold leaf, nuts, and that's part of their charm, is to make them really, really beautiful and almost like artwork. So I have decorated little Steggy here with gold edible paint on his spikes and a dried rose petal for his eye. I'm going to cut his head off and see what he tastes like. Well, it's hard, it's solid at least. I had to leave it for about 36 hours to dry out properly. Would have dried out in front of a fire. We don't have a fire, so I had to leave it in the boiler cupboard, and it took about 36 hours, but it is rock solid. Let's see. Well, that is very sweet. That is very sweet. It's like the kind of icing that you get on Christmas cake. It's that really hard, very sweet icing. But it's got a subtle rose flavour. I don't love rose flavouring. Sort of reminds me of my aunt's underwear drawer, but it's not too overpowering. But the filling is very intriguing because it's fresh ginger, so it's packs a punch, but it's because it's got that almondy, like frangipane almost, like a soft, creamy, almondy texture and flavour as well. But that ginger, that fresh ginger and the ground almonds, they work beautifully together. So the filling is, mwah, it's amazing. Yeah, good, I like this one. Well done, 16th century white gingerbread. You're a winner. Hope you've enjoyed watching this. As always, if you need any more information or you want to see some more general food history, head over to my blog. Thank you very much for watching, and join me for my next experiment on The Past is a Foreign Pantry. Truly sugar-tastic sensation. Sugar-tastic sensation. Sugar-tastic sensation.